There's normally only two ways across Auckland's harbour, via ferry or Auckland's harbour bridge. However, once a year, there is a third option. It's a 2.8k ocean swim. It's called the State Harbour Crossing, and it attracts more than 1,300 competitors, some at the elite level, some doing it for the first time. It's very much about a personal challenge. The sun has risen over Auckland's North Shore. The Waitemata Harbour is glistening. It is a beautiful day in Auckland. 1,300 competitors with smiles on their faces. But at the front end of the field, it's going to be very close.
This is the first race of the series, so we're just going to get the feel back of coming into the series again and finding out together and seeing, obviously, who takes up the top three places. We're just going to follow these boys and just try and get on their tail and go from there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely about going out there and righting wrongs from last year and just believing in myself that I can be out there and I'm just as good as anyone else.
Young Jared Port from Australia, Trent Grimsey, boy, they brought them in quality today.
Yeah, they definitely have, and there's also Matt Stanley. He's a great swimmer, you know, classy act, as well as Kurt Bassett. There's a lot of guys out there that's going to be a top quality race.
And a look at today's 2.9 kilometre swim course for the more than 1,300 competitors. It starts on Auckland's North Shore at beautiful Bayswater Marina. It's pretty much a straight swim for the competitors. Big orange state markers spaced 450 metres apart. There's a light southwesterly, water temperature's 18 degrees, and this year it's an extra 100 metres, with the competitors finishing and exiting the water at the new Koranga Plaza in Auckland's Viaduct. It's a truly iconic swim, and the crowds are expected to be out in numbers. And our more than 1,300 swimmers about to make their way into the water to get ready for a start in race one of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series for 2011-2012. 5 waves going approximately a minute to 2 minutes apart this morning from Bayswater Marina, and we are underway in the elite field. Our seeded caps today are a dark green, and they are seeded 1 through 10, featuring Kane Radford, the #1 seed, and Trent Grimsey, this man on shot with the no-sleeve wetsuit. Joining me in commentary, former swimming representative Scott Rice.
A fantastic moment for these swimmers. 5 start groups, as you said, Mark. About 200 to 300 swimmers starting in each group. So hopefully, with the 100-metre wide start line, a little bit of room to move in that first few 100 metres.
Well, somewhat surprised that Trent Grimsey's decided to swim to the left-hand side of the course that's closest to Bayswater Marina. Kane Radford out to his right, out of shot at the moment. And speaking to Kane Radford before this race, Scott, he was concerned last year with the line he took. He said he went too left. But I just wonder this year whether he's gone too far right.
Well, he learnt a lot of lessons last year. It is a lot about navigation. You know, obviously no black line to follow on the bottom of the ocean, so you do have to be knowing where you're going, heading for the marker buoys, which are large, and really be looking up every 5 to 6 strokes.
Nice shot of Matthew Stanley, the 200-metre freestyle champion, and now a member of Swimming New Zealand's high-performance squad, third equal at last year's event.
Well, look at the start by Trent Grimsey. He is renowned for a fast start, but these Aussies don't wear wetsuits a lot in Australia, obviously very warm waters, so he wants to have the flexibility still in his shoulders.
And our first look at our leading female competitor. This is your defending champion, Cara Baker, based on Australia's Gold Coast. She'll have her work cut out today because this is a very good women's field, and expect the challenge to come from Charlotte Webby wearing the #2 cap and the 400-metre freestyle New Zealand record holder in Lauren Boyle.
Here's a nice look at Jared Port. Looks like he's actually lost his cap. The 17-year-old out of Australia. He's been the age group champion over 3 years for the 1,500 metres freestyle. He swims 15-12, 1,500 free, doing very, very well there. #5, Stephen Kent, just on his toes. Won the State King of the Bays a couple of years ago, so a very talented surf life-saving swimmer.
And interested to see Grimsey there just roll over onto the back. Obviously just trying to get a feel for where the other competitors are, but often just a little bit of backstroke can just open up the chest, just relax the shoulders.
He's really gunning it here, Mark. He's really trying to get in. Let's have a look at him. 23 out of Brisbane, Australia, the 3-time Australian champion. So a force to be reckoned with today. He was second to Radford 3 years ago. He'll want to get one up on him today.
and his younger brother Cody Grimsey, a former winner of this event. So certainly the Grimsey name when it comes to open water swimming in Australia are a name that people do not want to underestimate. But now Kane Radford, I think he's realised his mistake, wearing the #1 cap, looking to try and bridge that gap across to Grimsey. Look at the arm turnover from Radford. It's like he's swimming 200 metres. We expect to see this in the last 100 metres of a race, not this early, Scott.
Well, Radford doesn't like to start typically in second place, and that's where he is at the moment. Here's another look at Jared Port, the youngster out of Australia, going very, very strongly.
I understand he has a personal best over 1,500 metres at 15 minutes and 10 seconds. That is remarkable. What's that about? Just over 1 minute per 100.
It is remarkable, especially for a gentleman of his age. Here's Stephen Kent. Stephen Kent alongside Matthew Stanley. Matthew Stanley, the 200-metre freestyle New Zealand champion. A very, very fast swimmer, swimming I think 1:48 for the 200 metres freestyle, but very different out here in the Auckland Harbour, right in the middle.
The race starts at 9 o'clock and the tide is coming in, so the swimmer's been pushed towards the harbour bridge. Round about 10 to 10, it won't affect our elite swimmers. The tide does turn. So these are factors they need to build into their training. These are factors they need to be thinking about if they are to get themselves on the podium today.
Well, these elite swimmers, the incoming tide at the moment, a little bit of a gentle southwesterly breeze, so a bit of wind against tide at the moment, making this chop a little bit tough for some of these pool swimmers. The key to that is the higher, slower turnover in the recovery. You want to raise those hands up, get them over the chop, but especially important that underneath, the pull through.
And so Trent Grimsey doing a very good job at the moment, always halfway across the beautiful Waitemata Harbour. And he's got a wee gap on the chase group. Jared Port there, the other Australian, with the sleeveless wetsuit, surrounded by a cluster of New Zealand's leading pool swimmers who are now looking to maybe just change things up a little bit, get themselves out of the pool and enjoy this wonderful experience, this great event.
Oh, so Kane Radford, he'll be a little bit worried at the moment. Grimsey has got a good 25-metre lead on the field, and here's a good look at Cara Baker. She has lost her bright blue cap and the white cap now. This is Cara Baker, last year's champion in this event and New Zealand's fastest female open water swimmer. She's gunning for an Olympic berth next year in London, and she is alongside Graham O'Grady, the talented triathlete from Hamilton.
And Graham O'Grady, a wonderful talent. He comes from a pure triathlon background. He's got a wonderful natural feel of the water. He's one of the best swimmers in the sport of triathlon. He is the current New Zealand half Ironman champion. And I tell you what he might lack in terms of pure technique in the pool, he makes up with heart. But look at this. This is the wonderful challenge coming from Charlotte Webby. What a rivalry these two have got going on. Don't underestimate this girl. They breed them tough in Taranaki.
So in the blue cap is Charlotte Webby, #2. In the white cap, Cara Baker. And look at the flurry of arms there amongst our elite athletes. We've got in the green caps the elite men, and in the blue caps the elite women. So coming through a few of the moored boats out of the Bayswater Marina, now well on their way towards the Viaduct Harbour in Auckland Central. And these swimmers now, this is the important point, they need to stay on course. They need to be looking out for those large orange state markers to keep the best line through to the viaduct.
It's an interesting point, isn't it, Scott? Because sometimes when you're swimming in these groups, you're relying on somebody else to do the navigation, but that is still ultimately your responsibility. As we look now at our race leader, Cara Baker, just 21 years of age, originally out of Dunedin, now living in the Gold Coast. She is desperate to try and qualify for the London Olympic Games in the 10K open water in 2012.
Confident she can get their mark. She leads the State Harbour Crossing 2011.